Well, going into the 2021 season, I really didn't have like any particular buck I was gonna go like hunt or was ready to get pictures of. I knew of a bunch of good ones, but there was one that we started getting pictures of once we put cameras out in July on some mineral, and I actually did not recognize him from last year, which is usually weird. We usually recognize most of the deer we have, but he had a giant frame and he had like a big extra beam kind of type deal. And he started out like we could just tell he's gonna be really good, and he kind of surprised us how tall he ended up getting in August, and how long his beams ended up being. He ended up being a real giant. So our plan now was that was kind of the deer I was going to focus on, and now since he dropped velvet, we had to relocate him. So mid September comes around, and all the bucks kind of dropped velvet. They all got off their summer feeding patterns and started kind of going in where they were going to be for the fall. And so I went over there probably middle of September, September 15th, I think, and put out probably 8 to 10 cameras on mock scrapes, green plots, and he started hitting this one scrape quite a bit on an edge of a bean field coming out in the same corner. So White and I went in late September and hung a good stand that we'd probably be hunting a lot during October.
Alright, guys, it is October 3rd, finally October. Favorite month of the year, but White and I are out here. This is our first hunt in over a week. It's been like 10 days for me. It's been really hot. It's been like 85 to 90 every day late September. And finally, it's dropped off a little bit. It's probably like 70, 75 right now. So it definitely cooled off a little bit. It's still warm, but it's a cold front, I guess. So we're out here on a deer, a really big 10, mainframe 10. He's hit this scrape every day in the last week, except the last 2 days. So I don't know where he's been the last 2 days, but it finally cooled down today. So we're hoping with some rain last night and this cool weather, it'll get him up on his feet and get him to hit this scrape, refresh it with that rain.
So we got the stand hung, and I think it was probably the first week of October. We were still getting a lot of pictures of them coming out of this corner. One daylight, but nothing too much. But we had a good north wind, and I could hunt the stand with about any north wind. So White and I went in for the first hunt, and we did not encounter him. And so Wyatt started, he had a deer he was starting to hunt pretty hard, Blueface. You guys will probably see him in his video. He started hunting him pretty hard, and I went back in by myself, and I ended up seeing him 2 times by myself the first 2 times right at dark. I barely got any film the second time. The first time it was too late to even film. About 200 yards away, right in this corner, and now it was time to kind of get a game plan for him.
Alright, guys, well, it's a big day here in the Midwest. It's October 11th, and we finally got a really good cold front. It's probably 58, 60 degrees right now, and it's been in the 80s, so this is a big time drop. It rained all last night, all morning, and the deer didn't move at all. And then about noon or 1 today, it stopped raining, and our cell cams started lighting up. I mean, bucks at 140, hitting scrapes, and just deer everywhere. So we came in here, I left work, met TC, and he's filmed me at night. We're in here in the stand that I hunted. This is my third hunt of the year out of it, and the first 2 hunts, I see my #1 hit lister. The last hunt, I got some film of him right before dark. The first hunt was too dark, but the last one, I filmed him for probably 5 seconds, and he's a giant 10, just a big frame 10, so I'm hoping to see him again. Hoping to get him to step out down here and eat some beans again, so I haven't had any pictures of him, but the only time I get pictures of him when he leaves his bedding area, so I think he's been coming out in this corner and going back in, just living in a small area right now. Because the 2 nights I seen him, I didn't have any pictures of him, so I'm hoping he's doing the same thing, coming out in this corner, and hopefully TC and I can get a crack at him tonight. There's a couple scrapes in front of us. They hit quite a few times a week, so maybe he'll come up and refresh these scrapes or something, so not really afraid to give a few soft grunts either if he's acting right. So it is October 11th, but this cold front, if he comes out bumping some other bucks around or acting with a little bit of an attitude, I might give him a few soft grunts and just see how he reacts to it.
So I think this is about October 12th now. We had another good north wind, good cold front, and TC and I went in there. We still had a bunch of pictures of him. It just we had a lot of south, so I couldn't hunt it, and we knew this cold front was coming. So we went in there, kind of having a good feeling that we were going to see him, and right away, I mean, it wasn't. It was probably an hour and a half, 2 hours before dark. He steps out in that corner, and he eats some beans. He hits a scrape. We get some great footage of him, a lot of footage. We filmed him for, I think TC filmed him for 30, 45 minutes. And at one point, I gave him some soft grunts just to try it, and he looked our way, wasn't really feeling it. We kind of laid off him. It was still early, October 12th, so we we backed out that night after dark after watching for about an hour. Super cool experience. It was really cool to watch him kind of do his thing for like an hour in this corner.
But give him one more for good measures. Nope.
So we're seeing him a few more times through October and getting pictures of him on a scrape coming out to this corner of this field almost every night. He was kind of like on a feeding pattern, hitting a scrape coming out to this corner. Same exact trail coming out on. There was like a 4-wheeler trail he's coming out on. White and I got real aggressive towards I think it was the 19th of October. We snuck down on a good cold front and hung a stand 45 yards away from this trail, and I hunted it twice. The night me and White hung it, and then once with Anton came out and filmed me. And both times, does came out downwind. It was just too far down that corner, and we got blown at. So the plan now was we pulled the stand, and the combines were going to cut the beans, and I left an acre and a half in this corner for late season. But when they were cutting it, the day while they were in the field, I moved a trailer blind in on the beans down the corner to control our scent better and be able to shoot. I was like, now I'm 70 yards away from where he walks out at, and he comes and feeds all the time. So next north wind, I'm in there, and I'm pretty excited for this hunt.
Well, guys, it is October 23rd today, and I'm back at it again in the same blind as was last night, in the same field. I've been hunting this deer in all year long, and I just moved this blind in here yesterday when the combines were cutting this field. And Austin and I came here last night, and we probably seen 20, 25 deer, but we just didn't see him. So I'm hoping we're back in here. He'll come out on this trail again tonight, like he's done 4 times now, and I've seen him, and I know many more times from show cameras. But Jake's with me tonight, so hopefully he'll bring me some good luck. But I need it. This deer has been, I've seen him 4 times now, and I just cannot get him within bow range. So this is kind of an aggressive move, bringing this blind down where he's coming out at. But it's the only way I could conceal my scent without getting winded. I tried hanging out down here, and I just had too many does winding me. So I'm hoping that tonight he'll step out, give us a shot. I'm really wanting to get a shot on this deer before he starts chasing does and moving all over. I know where he's living right now, so I'm really hoping to get him killed while he's still somewhat in the same area as I know, or somewhat in an area that I know. I kind of know where he's at, but here in a few days or a week, I would say he's going to be on some does chasing, and it could get easier, it could get harder. It just depends. I don't know. He might start moving all over. He might just start chasing does around here and moving around more, but we'll see. But I'd rather just get him killed tonight. So hopefully we're in for a good one, and hopefully we can get him down.
So now it's the next north wind. I think it was like 2 days after I moved this blind in there and they cut the beans. Jake and I were going in. We were pretty confident that we were going to have a good chance of seeing him. And it was probably 45 minutes to an hour before dark. He comes running out chasing 2 does. He gets into like 80 yards, never got any closer. Fed for probably 20 minutes. Jake and I thought we were going to get it done that night. He started working towards us, and then he ended up turning around. After about 10 or 15 minutes of eating beans, he chased these does over the hill, and we didn't see him the rest of the night. We kind of knew coming in, it was the 24th now, so we kind of knew he was going to start changing things up. Probably wasn't going to be as consistent in that field, and that's exactly what he did. He started moving around more. So now I kind of had to change my game plan for him a little bit.
Cool. Alright, guys. Our deer just came out at about 85 and then worked away from us. And then he ate for a while, didn't really act like he was going to do much. And chased a doe over the hill. So we still got probably 40 minutes left, 30 minutes left, so maybe he'll chase her back over this hill. I mean, he just covered like 80 yards in about 10 seconds, so if they chase her this way, they could definitely do it. But as of right now, it's not looking good. But another encounter. That's the 5th encounter with him, the closest I've gotten to him. So, dang it.
So if they're getting towards the end of October, 1st of November. I hung a few more different stands for him, kind of in some better rut funnels, and I encountered him one more time on November 1st, the morning of, and I had him at like 100 yards. I grunted at him. I thought he was coming in. He skirted me outside of bow range, and that was actually the last time I've seen him. I had a bunch of other deer showing up, and one deer in particular called One Eye. He was showing up ever since summer on the same exact like corner of this field, coming out on this trail. I actually would get him almost every day down there, even all the way up till November 6th. So we knew we had a real good shot going in, and that's kind of the deer I picked to go hunt next.
Well, we just pulled up here, Austin and I, and we actually are going into a new stand. I only hung a single stand because I didn't know Austin was coming with me tonight, but we're bringing in another stand. We're going to throw it up. It's still like 2:40, so we're decently early. We're not real early, so we're going to hurry and get in here. But we got combines that just cut this field, and they're in the field right next to us right now. So it's actually going to help us out. There's a lot of noise going on right now. They're probably going to be done over here in an hour and a half. So we'll get this stand up. We'll get all settled in, and probably like 5:15 they'll be done, and that'll be perfect timing because the deer should start pouring out. We got really the main target is this deer I call One Eye. He's just a big 10, probably just 155 inch 10, real old deer. So that's who we're going after right now. I've been hunting my big one all year, and the last week he has been locked down. I haven't got no pictures of him, haven't seen him, so I'm changing it up. I get another tag in a week, so I thought might as well come over here and hunt this deer, and if I do kill him, I'll be able to hunt my other deer in a week. So we'll see what happens. We're gonna get in, get this stand hung, and next time you see us, we'll be on a tree. Well, we are in the stand. That was kind of interesting, trying to get one stand hung. So we're in here. Austin's in here barely, but we're up here. So we jumped a buck. It might have been One Eye, the deer we're after. We're not for sure. It looked like a good buck. I couldn't tell if it was him or not. Literally in this tiny little ditch that we were just walking through to get to the stand. But the bucks, they take does away from everything else and away from all the other bucks. So that kind of sucks. But if it's not him, it's fine. If it is him, he didn't really know. We jumped him as soon as we opened the door of the truck, basically. So him and the doe kind of went opposite ways, and I don't know. They weren't like too spooked, but we're hoping it's not him, obviously. So
I think that deer will be back here looking for that.
I think, yeah, he didn't really know. It was kind of a ways behind us, and he actually kind of went out and towards in front of our stand now. So here later before dark, he might get back up, and the doe went the opposite way, went behind us. So maybe he'll come looking for her or something. But if it was him, but we're hoping it's not. We're hoping he'll come out here chasing does or something out of his bedding area. We got combines behind us right here then most of the night till about 5:30, but hopefully they'll be done over there right at perfect timing, and the deer will start pouring out. So
We had a bunch of deer in bow range like all night until about 45 minutes before dark. All the deer kind of worked off, and some little bucks came out and chased those all around, and we watched them chase them like 300 yards out in the field. And there were still probably 15, 20 deer like 300 yards away. And Austin all of a sudden says there's a buck right behind us. I put my binoculars, and it's One Eye, the deer we're after. And he's probably 80 yards, and as soon as I see him, I see it's him. I go to turn around, he starts jogging in at us, so it's about to happen quick.
are you on it? Yeah, not yet. Okay. I'm on him. Wait. Now.
Meh.
He's smoked him, dude. He's done.
Smoked him.
He's done, dude.
Oh my God.
Watch him, watch him. He's done. He's gonna go down.
That is
Dude.
awesome.
12 yards right there.
Dude, when I first saw him, he
Just
was
right
right
the
there
scrape.
hitting a scrape. It was awesome.
Oh my, dude, I smoked him.
We haven't had a deer take that path all night.
I think he just went down right there. I double
I
lunged
thought I
him.
saw him tipping.
Oh
right
my, guys, oh my, yes!
there. November 6th, dude.
November 6th, the evening of, this is like my 35th sit of the year, maybe more. I don't even know. I hunted one buck all year long. He was a giant. And
That deer's a stud.
I can't kill him. That's the Big 10 I came in
Yeah.
after.
Well, I caught all the boys. We knew he was going to be dead not too far. He came into 18 yards, and it was just perfect. Right, stopped perfect. Look at us, and the Swacker did the job. The blood trail was amazing. Everybody showed up. It was one of those nights that you just kind of remember forever with, all my good buddies there, my brother, and everybody being there. We were able to track this deer. He only went 100 yards, and when we came up to him, he was just a stud of a deer, giant-bodied, and, honestly, he impressed us from what we thought of him on trail camera. He ended up being way bigger than we thought, and it was just an awesome night all around.
Well, guys, it is the next day after we finally got them all set up, got some pictures taken, and honestly, I don't even know where to start. This deer is a stud, guys. He's a giant 6-year-old. He's actually not the deer I've been hunting all year. The deer I've been hunting all year is a giant. There's no other questions around it. He's a pig, and I've seen him 7 or 8 times. Haven't been able to get the job done. I've had him at like 80 yards 3 different times, and he just hasn't closed the distance. So hopefully I'm going to start hunting him again. But with that deer kind of going MIA the last week, this deer has been on my mind because I've had a lot of pictures of him. And I knew I had a pretty good chance going in. I really didn't think it was going to happen on the first hunt after him on a hanging hunt. But boy, I could not be any more happier. He's a stud, and what a way for it to happen. I mean, Austin and I went in there hanging hunted, seen a bunch of deer, had a good hunt so far, and then he just came in from behind us, and honestly, I didn't even think it was really going to happen, and all of a sudden Austin goes, there he is, and he's 70 yards behind us, comes jogging in. So definitely pumped to get him on the ground, and hopefully there's more to come here from us in Missouri.